Welcome back. You're watching NewsX. My name is Vishal Malhotra, and non-fungible tokens or NFTs seem to have exploded out of the ether this year. From art and music to tacos and toilet paper, they are selling like 17th century exotic Dutch tulips, some for millions of dollars, that is. But first, let's get to the basics. What are NFTs? An NFT is a digital asset that represents real-world objects like art, music, in-game items, and videos. They are bought and sold online, frequently with cryptocurrency, and they are generally encoded with the same underlying software as many cryptos. How are NFTs different from cryptos? Well, NFTs are different. Each has a digital signature that makes it impossible for NFTs to be exchanged for or equal to one another, hence non-fungible. How are NFT prices decided? Well, NFT prices are either set by the creator, they put their own price on their digital art, or there is an auction that takes place and the art goes to the highest bidder. Well, we'll talk about this with some special guests. Joining me on the platform at this point in time is Mr. Garrett Minks. He's the founder and CTO of Rair, and an NFT digital rights management platform. Also joining us on the show is Mr. Anndy Lian. He's the co-founder of INFLUXO, and Lian, of course, is taking care of INFLUXO, which is an intergovernmental blockchain advisor and a blockchain investor from Singapore. And last but not the least, Vishal Malhotra is an actor. He's the first actor to sell art as an NFT. Vishal Malhotra has collaborated with artist Isha Banerjee to release non-fungible tokens. Welcome, everyone, and let's talk about this very enterprising and extremely curious idea which has taken the world by storm. Garrett, let me start by asking you a very simple question. In your opinion, what is the current status that the NFTs enjoy, and how likely are they to be accepted in the world, in the digital world? And also talk about, people trying to grapple with the meaning of NFTs at this point in time.
Certainly. Well, it's definitely proved to be the first practical use case for the mass market to see a pretty image and realize that it's actually backed up by the same technology that makes things like Bitcoin work. So it's exciting that now things that work like Bitcoin represent art and other items like that. But I think we're at the very beginning. We're kind of in the pet rock stage as I see it, which is already quite valuable. But I think the sort of next evolution of this is when they're actually used as authentication credentials to unlock things, more richer type experiences. And that's probably coming down the pike here in the next year or so. But right now, already lots of really good excitement around just the idea that you can own something and show the entire world that you own it and transfer it using these underlying crypto technologies.
Well, Garrett, also talk about this, outstanding phenomena where, NFTs have gone into millions of dollars. How did that come about? And, usually new concepts are frowned upon. New concepts are usually time-consuming when it comes to acceptability. But this, from the word get-go, has garnered millions of dollars. How come?
Well, certainly. Well, maybe not millions of dollars, but millions of dollars equivalent worth of Ethereum. I think the vast majority of people buying these things were kind of early adopters in the space, and they have a lot of money now because the overall space has done so well. And instead of taking the money outside of the ecosystem, they've kind of decided to keep it in and support other people. I think that's where you're seeing the really large price action and these things going for millions of dollars. It's not necessarily outsiders. Maybe there are some coming in and buying these things for huge amounts of money, but I think it's mostly people that have been in the space for a really long time and have tens or hundreds of millions of dollars that they've made, and for status reasons, for all sorts of reasons, they prefer to spend it on non-fungible tokens that, as you said, go for potentially millions of dollars sometimes.
Right. Andy, in your opinion, what kind of importance will NFTs have in the future market when it comes to buying and selling? Right now, it's in the digital realm, but it's only a matter of time before they catch on. Do you think that theory is going to transpire in a few years or perhaps even a few months, considering the kind of speed that we have seen?
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, this NFT is really just a fancy serial number. And right now it's being tied to pieces of digital art as being valuable. But really the same rails and the same underlying technology that allow you to own something on the internet and prove it to everybody else in the world can absolutely be applied to things like real estate titles and I don't know, all sorts of other non-art use cases. So I think we're at the very beginning of seeing what these really powerful serial numbers can do and what they can represent, not just the art use case, which is what most people see it as right now.
All right, Vishal, coming to you now. The first actor to sell art via NFT. Tell us about your brush, with this digital enterprise, and what do you make of it right now? All right, Vishal, you're muted right now, Vishal, if you could unmute yourself.
Happy Diwali, everybody. Pleasure
Happy
to
Diwali.
be here. Thank you. Thank you for having me here. So just a little bit of to put the record straight before we get on. I'm not the first actor to sell digital art. I'm the first Indian actor to have released and sold an NFT. There have been a lot of actors and celebrities in the Western and the other parts of the world who've done it. And I've just been fortunate enough that I happen to be the first Indian actor to do so. Yes, I am 4 NFTs old and all my NFTs have sold out. I'm very, very fortunate to have collaborated with amazing artists and also created a historical piece of creating my own NFT without the assistance of any artist. I find great value in what my representation of NFTs is. Purely from the basis of it gives me a great way to interact with, excuse me, with my fans, people who'd like to meet me. And as, as was mentioned a little earlier by one of our guests, utilities is a big part of my NFTs, which means that once somebody purchases my NFT, not only do they get that beautiful piece of art, but they also get a lot of utilities, which means plus-ons along with it. It can basically be tokenized into a ticket, which allows you to sit with me. I have a seat reserved for you right here when I'm watching the premiere of my next film, or you can have a meet and greet with me, or if I'm doing a live concert, you can have a front seat and a backstage pass. Also, whether we love it or we hate it, social media is a big currency nowadays. And what I do is I try to facilitate you to increase your social media numbers by doing live interactions with you on your platform. So utilities is a big part of it, but my main intention is to create value for somebody who collects my NFTs, and that's why I concentrate mostly on the secondary sale market. And I feel NFTs are here to stay in a very, very big way, especially in India, where it's just becoming robust.
Right, Vishal, you said that they're here to stay, and obviously your brush with the NFT so far has been a positive one. Do you think with the rate at which cryptocurrency and other counterparts of digital exchange are growing, it's only a matter of time that NFT will be popularized in India as well?
So yeah, I already feel that NFT and the whole crypto world in general is blowing up in a very big way in India. If you look at it proportionally, I believe only 4 or 5% of Indians are actually involved indirectly or directly in the crypto world. But in numbers, that is larger than the entire population of the UK, who is associated with cryptocurrency. And catching up with the United States. So it's a huge number. Of course, the government has to in some way implement the right rules vis-a-vis taxation, etc. on it. But I look at it as a great way. And just one more point about the fact that cryptocurrencies are in the stage where they haven't really stabilized yet. They're extremely volatile. I feel NFTs create a great hedge against the entire volatility of a crypto market. Because if you buy, for example, if you buy a Genesis piece like mine, which is a first of its kind historical, it has a value of its own, which increases with time. And that valuation keeps increasing, hopefully. And the fluctuation of the cryptocurrency kind of gets hedged according to that. That's one of the ways that I look at the entire space on a very broad perspective.
All right, that's a good point that you made. That cryptocurrency is still, or rather should we say, yet to settle down. It'll be a while before the framework, some of it legal as well, will be formalized. Andy, if you can hear me, Anndy Lian.
Yes, yes.
All right, Andy, your thoughts on NFTs and how they are going to be changing the way we do business, specifically how we interact with people, how we in fact come up with commodities which can be exchanged for NFTs on social media.
I do think that NFT is not a rocket science, to be very, very honest. It is very easy, relatable to products and brands. So big brands like Chanel, for example, or maybe not mentioning any brand, big fashion brands are already putting their effort into NFTs because they felt that limited edition items or custom made item or bespoke items are actually one way to go into the NFT market. And the big brands are doing that. And then if you look at what the crypto market is doing, like some of my friends, what they would like to say things like, well, if you are doing an NFT, it's good to stay within the crypto space. But I do not really think it should be that way. It should be very much connected to the traditional world. So right now, if you look at the NFT market, the big brands are coming in. Smaller crypto brands like maybe some of them that I interact with, like Dodge Cola, for example, they do a crypto drink. They have their own NFT, right? And then we have other brands or other characters that are being created, like CryptoPunks that are very famous. They represent a certain status. But again, if you look at other smaller brands, like maybe like Galaxy Heroes, where they are trying to sell their heroes, trying to sell their concept and so forth, those guys are bringing all the different characters together, forming communities, and maybe in the near future, all these guys can actually be helping the big brands to market their product. So I think when we talk about changing worlds and so forth, I think the bridge between the traditional market and the NFT market together with cryptocurrency is really going to make a lot of difference.
Right. And you made a very special and important point. You said that for NFTs to succeed, they need to have some sort of a consonance with the traditional network as well. What did you mean by that? And for the sake of our viewers, elaborate that thought as well.
Sure, no problem. I think many of us would just think that, for example, if you buy a CryptoPunk, it is just a profile image, right? But if you look at it deeper, you could actually use that profile image to talk to other maybe apparel brand owners to create a line of your own item, like what Vishal is trying to do, is his own brand, right? So you have your own NFT, you can create a product line and then make it into t-shirts. And then if you have a big following on Twitter, for example, people will buy it, they will buy your t-shirt, and then can you make that t-shirt into NFT as well? Yes, you can. So what I'm trying to say is that NFT is not stuck at maybe a Sotheby's or Phillips auction. It's not going to be stuck there. This is just the very beginning. It is a beginning of all the things that we can see. Loyalty points. Minks mentioned about this, maybe about tickets, maybe about title deeds and so forth. There's a lot of utility behind this. And those people, big projects or small projects that have embarked onto the NFT space, and if they have a big community behind it, there will be a lot of big push in the very near future, because all of them will eventually own NFTs that are valuable, backed by the community. And at the same time, all of them become a small spokesperson or salesperson for specific brands. So this journey has really just started. I have friends who came to me, big MNCs, big Fortune 500 companies. I told them, next time you can pay your sales guys using an NFT. There's nothing stopping you to do that. I hope that illustrates a fair bit.
Absolutely. Also talk about the fact, Andy, that what kind of an edge, if you can call it that, will NFTs have over traditional modes of interaction and transaction and sale and purchase?
In fact, I'm actually writing an article about that, about how this NFT can actually be part of this whole purchase experience. If you look at it this way, in the past when we make a purchase, maybe you have a piece of artwork that is only available when people go to your house. But now, if you talk about NFT, you make a sale of the NFT, you could put yourself or put the NFT in a virtual gallery or maybe a metaverse a gallery where your friends can actually go in and take a look. Of course, man, you can always charge them 1 BTC as an entry fee if you want, but again, that is just the beginning. If you use the same analogy on other things, maybe in the art gallery as well, instead of opening up the art gallery for free, you could maybe use NFT as a form of payment. And then when you reach a certain a gallery or a certain artwork that you like, you could actually scan it, for example. There might be a QR code somewhere, and that actually creates additional value. The first 100 people who's there, you scan it, you get a limited edition one. So these are all very, very similar plays that you have seen in the traditional world. All you need to do is just open up your mind a bit more, stay a bit more creative. Anything can be done. I was in an interview with one of the first this cryptocurrency that does movies. I told them, in a movie film, instead of putting product placements, you could actually put an NFT, right? Your users who use the phone, to scan that scene can actually get you more than just that scene. You can get a very limited NFT as well. So things are really up to imagination.
All right. I'm going to take concluding thoughts from the rest of the panelists as well. Garrett, in your opinion, how easy or difficult is it going to be for NFTs to find space in the eco-banking atmosphere that we are all used to today?
Absolutely. I think Andy brought up that point a little bit about there is this bridge between the crypto world, which is where you've seen these like very large kind of Ethereum-based sales, and the traditional kind of fiat, take a credit card, take an Apple Pay world. And right now they're still quite different, as fundamentally crypto acts as almost like a bearer bond, where when you transfer it, you really can't take it back. It is permanently moved. Whereas a credit card, you can do things like chargebacks and whatnot. So the big challenge in the space is, how do you reduce the friction and give somebody a really seamless, easy way to get onboarded into the space? But when you do that, you take on a lot of responsibility for the user. If you actually are minting the NFTs for them, they don't actually own them, you do. So to kind of keep the sovereignty and the value of an NFT, it's a provenance, it can't be taken away from you, it's yours. With the ease of use that comes with using these more centralized kind of credit card-based, fiat-based onboarding platforms, I think really is kind of the big challenge in the frontier. And I think a lot of people right now are kind of taking advantage of the brand of an NFT to kind of sell you something with a credit card that might not actually exist on the blockchain. So kind of being aware of really what it represents, that it's not just an image, that it really is a thing that exists on a blockchain. That's why it's valuable, because the whole world can look it up and it can't be tampered with, it can't be taken away from you. So I would say that would be kind of the thing to watch out for in the space, is to make sure that if you buy an NFT, you really are actually buying one.
And it also does become, a part of that blockchain enterprise where it's absolutely traceable and accountable as well. Vishal, last question for you. What would you like to tell people who are perhaps fascinated with the idea of NFT and are perhaps trying and looking to test the waters when it comes to this amazing and futuristic concept?
Well, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. I look at the entire NFT world as Internet 3.0. Of course, Internet 1.0 being the original onset of the Internet, Internet 2.0 according to me being the onset of social media. And right now we're on the crux of beginning our journey onto Internet 1.3 via the entire NFT and crypto world. So I know that eventually, very, very soon, everybody has to be a part of this ecosystem, and better late than never. So I'm really full of gratitude that I chanced upon being the first mover in this kind of technology. It got me here to speak with such renowned people on this panel, and you, out of a lot of other benefits that it's given me. But on a more serious note, it is definitely here to stay. It is not only the future, a certain future, but it's also the present.
All right, that makes sense. And, it's absolutely a concept which will find some friction in the beginning, but then traction on later. It's just like perhaps a new tire. Thank you, everyone, for joining us and giving us your expert thoughts and your perspective on this very interesting idea. We're going to dip into a short break, folks, but news and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned.
चलो